So what we're doing here is we're getting ready to light a smoker, and we use a smoker to help keep the bees calm. So what I use is some pieces of bark off of wood. Okay? Throw a little bit in there. And grab our big torch. Now we have smoke. So because we live in Northern Ontario, we have bears. I have an electric fence around my beehives to help keep the bears out. We have to turn it off, otherwise we might get zapped. And now we put on our hood. Join me, we'll go in a hive. So, we're at the beginning of May. It's time to take off the winter wraps. And these are like a big blanket for the beehives. They help keep the hives nice and warm over the winter so that the bees don't freeze. But if we leave them on all summer, the bees will get too hot and they'll actually leave their hive. They won't want to stay in there. Take these off. Put those in storage until next fall. Beautiful day today. It's almost 20 degrees and you can see these bees were actually too warm inside the hive. They were clustering underneath that wrap. So what we do, we give the bees a little bit of smoke, and the smoke helps to calm them down. It confuses them a little bit because bees use pheromones to communicate. So the smoke helps to prevent them from being able to communicate, so they can't say, "Hey, who's this crazy guy coming into our house?" So beehives are made up of multiple boxes, and inside each of those boxes are frames. If you can come a little closer, I'll start taking these frames out. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in and check the hive and see how healthy they are. Unfortunately, bees like to glue things together. So what they've done is they stick these frames together. They're very hard to get out. You have to very gently pry them out. And there you go. That is a frame of bees. There are three kinds of bees in a honeybee hive. There are the male drones, there are the female workers, and there's the female queen. And you can tell them apart simply by the way that they look. These big caps here, those are the male bees inside. These smaller ones here are the female bees. Now on the frame, we can see a big furry guy right there and there. Might even be able to pick one up. The male drones don't have stingers, so they can't hurt us. They can't bite us. They can't defend the hive. And you can tell that they're drones by they have much larger, chubbier bodies and big eyeballs. Whereas these bees here are the worker bees, the female workers. They're smaller, they're a little lighter, they can fly more easily. Now what we're going to do is we're going to dig through and see if we can find the queen. So I just found the queen. That's her right there. And you can see she has a longer abdomen. Her body is a lot longer than the other bees. Her wings are a little bigger, and the back of her head just looks a little bit different. It takes many years to get good at spotting the queens like that. But there she is. She's walking around looking for all the little cells that she hasn't laid eggs in yet. She sticks her head in. The job of a queen is to lay eggs. That's all she does. So in this frame, she's walked around and laid eggs here. She's actually started laying eggs here. And those eggs have hatched into little larvae, and the bees have fed them, and those larvae have grown. So we can see the little larvae in here, and they get smaller and smaller as we go out here. And if you look really closely, you might even see a little tiny larvae or an egg way down in the bottom down there. And that's the stages of growth. They grow and they grow and they grow, and then eventually the bees come and they cap those cells with a bit of beeswax, and then the larvae pupates and becomes a bee. So on this frame, the queen has come in and laid the whole frame with eggs, and those eggs have turned into larvae, and then they've turned into pupae, and then they've turned into bees. And out here, these cappings out here are bees that are almost ready to emerge. They're just old enough. We can actually see one right there, chewing its way out of the cell. And if we waited long enough, that bee would climb out all on its own. Once these bees emerge, the queen comes back and lays again. So these bees have emerged. These bees here, have emerged, and the queen has come back and already started laying. So she's already laid all of this area and then gone to another frame to lay eggs. And she'll come back soon and lay this outer band out here as well.